Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Obviously, you had a big void to fill losing Elijah. I'm sure a lot of guys understand that there's an opportunity up for grabs. Anyone in particular kind of impress you in that regard?
I mean, Elijah only practiced one time, so I mean, it's pretty much been the same team. So I mean, it fills a huge void, there's a hole there of how we built the team, the role that we had envisioned and all that. But I think it's still too early, you know what I mean? I think if you went around the country, we probably have as much stuff in as anybody, like scheme-wise. Now we're just trying to, it's a whole new group, so like DNA stuff. We're switching the groups every day to see who plays well together. So I would say, has anyone filled that, spot that we had envisioned? No, but we really haven't had any internal discussions. You know what I mean? It's kind of been the same group out there all summer with the addition of, Elijah's out and now T. Will's in. So I wouldn't. It's probably way too early, I guess, to answer that.
How's it going? Good to see you again. One of the things that I saw, of course, is Terence Williams returned for you guys. What does he bring to the team as your only returner from last year? And how has his skill set kind of changed what you guys were doing before he returned and how he's playing now?
I don't think it. I mean, we haven't changed anything from a scheme or anything. I mean, he's been out for a long time, and so he's like conditioning, all those type of things. He's still he's playing catch up, and so. But what he provides us is he's he's leader. He's got experience. He's played in the Big Ten. He knows what to expect at practice. He knows what to expect in a game. All those type things. And then he should provide floor spacing and because of his shooting and stuff like that. So I would say that, he's just got to get himself, as any player would that's been out that long,
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
You can tell you're trying to get him to play selfless. I mean, the 50 passes thing, among other sort of things you guys implement in practice. And I wonder, how do you coach the balance between being selfless and being the guy, sort of capital T, capital G, because I'm sure you'll need both.
Yeah, I think that naturally in the two exhibition games, when we compete, that at that point, and I think they know internally, in the locker room, who's an alpha with the ball in their hands, and I think they know. And if they don't, they will, when play calls get, start happening for somebody. But it is a super unselfish team. We don't really feel like anybody's playing selfish. It's more just understanding that we want to try to move the ball at this time of year more than they're used to. So I do think it's a pretty good group unselfishly, but today's games with the way a lot of guys grow up is to catch it and think score. And so we're just trying to, get spacing and stuff like that.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. Who are the leaders on this team?
I mean, when I look at any team, I think that, when someone asks who are the leaders, I hope that they all lead to some degree, because leadership comes in all forms. It's, there should be a couple leaders in the locker room that when they're getting ready to come up to the practice floor, if somebody's still in there, I hope that we have a leadership voice to say, hey, let's go get some good pre-practice. I hope when practice is over, somebody's grabbing 3 or 4 guys and saying, let's get some shots up. I hope when, if there's a group of guys that get an extra weightlifting session in someday, I hope they have enough leadership to pull a couple other. And then there's, leadership in a game that's going to happen. If we're not doing the right thing, somebody, So I hope they all lead in some way. The traditional leadership maybe that you're thinking about, or that most of us would talk about, I think it's still a work in progress. I think that Rodney Rice leads by doing the right thing. And I think Chad leads with his enthusiasm and his character that he is, with his personality. And then I think T. Will can help lead with his veteran, experience, and then after that, who else can jump up as a leader is E.J. Neal's a good leader. I mean, he talks when he's on the floor, he's doing the right things, and I think by him leading in that way is a good thing, and he's got experience. And when we recruited him and got background, being a great teammate was something that kept coming up. So that's its own form of leadership, and I hope we can, like Ezra, I hope that he can figure out and we can help, navigate that where he can eventually have some leadership in the team as well.
Chad made that buzzer-beating three-pointer in the drill today. You mentioned him as a leader on the team. Has he been shooting like that all fall, and what is his personality like? It seems like he does have some character.
Yeah, no, he's got about as much personality as anyone you could be around. And those shots that he makes, I've been to the Dominican Republic and some of the courts that they play on there and some of the even gyms. We practiced with the national team with both baskets. There was open wind going through, where it wasn't enclosed. And I've played against him, and he makes those shots. And so I think from a defensive standpoint, trying to let the guys know, don't even let him get an attempt up if you're going against him. But I think right now we know if the shot clock's winding down, that there's a good chance that he'll take a shot that everybody in the building would say, that's a crazy-looking shot. But it's probably got as good a chance as any player shooting that in the world. He's just got this, I don't know how to describe it. It's falling down. It's not the right rotation. It's legs going one way and arms going another way, but it goes in. I mean, he literally looks like he throws it. But he does work on that stuff, and he reminds me all the time that he works on it.
There were a couple moments today where it looked like Gabe went up for a rebound or just playing defense where the people around him just had no chance, just given his length and his height. It's pretty clear how much he can affect things on defense and rebounding wise. But where would you say his offensive game is at right now, and how would you say he might be able to help this team on that side?
Yeah, I think offensively, Ryan, he should be a good offensive rebounder, which he's exhibited that. He has not turned the ball over much. I think at Youngstown State he probably got swarmed a little bit more once he caught it. I don't know if our defense kind of is playing that way right now. But he's got a really soft touch, and I think once, that's a physical practice out there today. I think when there's referees calling fouls and there's better spacing and things are slowed down a little bit more, I think that you'll see there's a lot more offensive game with a soft touch. He's got good hands. He's a good passer. And he's playing in the elbow area a little bit more maybe than he has in the past. So I don't know if that answers it, but yeah.
Coach, on a day like today where I won't say you were frustrated by the lack of communication, but it definitely came up, you wanted people to be talking more. What are the players losing out on? What's getting lost in translation in those moments where they're not communicating with each other?
Well, I would say, because we have so many people come through the gym, whether it be an NBA scout, whether it be a high school coach, whether it be a recruit, and we probably talk more than, we talk a lot, our players do, but I'm trying to get it to be an elite level of communication. So I would say, I don't think anything can get lost in the I just think it's so new. There's so many players that it's kind of a reflection of society of, my dinner table with my daughter right now is not the same dinner table as when I grew up. I didn't have a cell phone when I was a sophomore in high school sitting at the phone. And even she told me the other night, Dad, get off your phone. And so, and our guys are, they can play video games all night together, 2K, and never talk. So it's just to try and to let them know, like, hey, when we're between these lines, the only way to play at an elite level is to communicate and talk and yell out switches and yell out, I got ball, so there's not two people closing. But it's unique to them, and it's just, it's a habit.
Coach, sometime after last year, you commented that you wished you had gotten more time for, and I forgot his name, but the freshman forward who went to LMU. Is that something in the back of your mind with respect to Jerry this year?
No, I think everybody's individually got their own, their own race, you know what I mean, so to speak. So I think, like, developing depth, they're developing it right now, you know what I mean? So I think that the way that we break down practice and film and, I think we have a pretty good idea who should, play. So who gets minutes early on and how they go about it is, it's kind of a case-by-case, year-by-year deal. So I would say that, when I mentioned, Shelley, it's when I look at him, I think he's got, huge upside, and a lot of it has to do with, what each player's doing, in the weight room and all those type of things. And so I think it's kind of individual, and then the makeup of the remaining players around you as well. I know Moses Moody and Anthony Black. I know those guys couldn't have played another second when they were freshmen. I mean, if you look at their minutes, because I was sitting before a group of media members asking if I was going to rest those two guys ever as freshmen. And so I think it's just kind of a matter of, who works well with their teammates, and then they'll play.
We saw your post on social media about Coach Rav yesterday, but I was just wondering if you could go into some of the interactions you might have had with him or what you really remember about him.
Yeah, so I've had a lot. Just as I'm 60, so any coach that is my age or older has probably had a lot of interactions with Coach. And even the impact that he's had on younger coaches. Not a lot of people understand that he's been writing for the Daily Coach, which is one of the best motivational publications that you can get that comes out daily, and he does it with Michael Lombardi and himself and another guy. But just his wisdom, I think that a lot of coaches have always looked up to him. He had some jobs that he just did an incredible, job from a basketball standpoint that might not have been easy jobs at the time when he had them. And then, you think of, what he had done for, African-American coaches and the doors that he opened, because he had such great success and everybody respected him so much. So I think that he has made a big, big impact to a lot of coaches in a lot of ways, and obviously meant a lot to the USC community as well.
Hey, Terrence, how's your wrist doing? How are you feeling, and what kind of shape are you in at this point?
My wrist has gotten way better, still not 100, but it's good enough to play basketball, so I'm gonna do that right now. My shape, I'm getting back in shape, just ramping it up. I'm a little bit of load management right now just because I really haven't played basketball in 9 months. So Coach Andres had me on load management, getting back into top game shape.
Terrence, on that note, it seemed like last year there were times where it felt like you were going to come back, and then you didn't, and you were out for a little bit longer than it seemed like anyone had expected. Like, how frustrating was that for you, just kind of going through that, thinking, maybe I come back now, and then you don't?
It was very frustrating because I did think I was going to come back toward the end of the season. But, Dr. Nicholson, my surgeon, he was just like, a broken scapula is going to take about 6 to 9 months, and yours was displaced. So, it really might take that longer period. I really didn't believe him. But, you know, when they came February and I got the CT scan and it came back, it's still a little crack in it. And that's when I knew, like, this really might be a long injury and I really just got to sit down and be patient. But it's very hard over the whole process, and I'm just glad to be back. Like I said, I'm still working towards it, still rehabbing every day. So, you know, I'm going to just keep getting better. Hopefully I'm in top shape by October 17th, I think, our first exhibition. So, yeah.
The rest of the roster you played with last year all left for various reasons. Was there any thought for you of entering the portal, or was this always for sure you wanted to stay at USC?
No, I definitely wanted to stay. Coach made that known to me as soon as the season ended. I wanted to stay out here, do my rehab with Coach Andrew, JY, all the trainers here. So it really was easy for me to stay.
For anyone who wants to answer, or maybe each of you could give a thought, I know Elijah didn't practice very much with you guys, but when you found out that he wasn't going to play this season, did that change your mindset at all, or what was your reaction?
The reaction part was in shock, because he was a talented freshman coming in, and like we could really use him. But you know, we just keeping the main thing, win games, and just get to the tournament.
Gabe and Jordan, Coach mentioned earlier in the summer that he's really impressed with the progress so far. Can you talk to me a little bit individually about what the camp has been like for you guys?
Like the campus part, or like the basketball part?
The basketball part,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
I would say for me, it's a big jump, especially coming from a mid-major school. I feel like it's very helpful. They got all the resources here, all the sources that want to help you be successful. So I feel like it's a great move for me personally.
For me, it's really, I mean, all I do is play basketball. So it's like, it's my whole day. I mean, it just got easier when I came here, because it's like the resources are given to you. I don't have to go out of my way to do certain things, because they have so many resources here that can like just get stuff done for you. And then really, if you just show up every day, do what you're supposed to, do what you're told, and you're going to progress.
For Jordan and Terrence, I don't know how many times you guys have tried to rebound against Gabe, but how difficult is it to kind of contend with all that length and height when you are trying to go up for a rebound?
Well, me, I'm not going down there with Gabe. So, but I feel like I see others, and I feel like it's tough for others just because how tall he is and his arms is just long. So it's very difficult, I would say.
Yeah, it's my thing, like 4th or 5th practice, and I done boxed out Gabe a couple times. I couldn't get it, so it's gonna be hard down there. You just gotta get him out of there. But you know, he's 7'4", so ain't much you could do when he got it up here.
For Jordan, you know that this team last year, they kind of went through a few different ball handlers, and it seems like you're kind of one of the main ones. What's kind of the focus going into the season and kind of mastering that ball handling part, getting the ball up and setting the offense?
Really just being patient, taking care of the ball, not turning the ball over as much, getting the offense together, make sure everybody's in the right spot, the right place at the right time, and just being a true point guard at the end of the day.
What's going through you guys' heads when, and I'm paraphrasing, but when your coach says, you're going to get hit, just kind of suck it up, deal with it? How are y'all thinking of it?
For me, I just think of it as like, just keep playing. Like he said, it's like a physical league. So you're going to get hit, you're going to get bumped. So it's just a mindset of whether you're going to lay down when you get hit or just keep playing. So that's my perspective.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I'm 7'4". I'm not going to get the calls that everybody's supposed to get. They say that I should be able to like handle it because I'm 7'4". They can't do anything because I'm 7'4". And just because I'm 7'4" doesn't mean that's not a foul. But like, no matter what, like you just got to play through it. Like throwing your hands up, you're never going to get a call.
Yeah, really just welcome to the Big Ten. That's all I gotta say.
Gabe, how old were you, would you say, when you realized that you could kind of use your height and you could exploit your height, I guess, against other people? Playing basketball, I mean.
Yeah. I assume.
Maybe outside of basketball too. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like I always grew like steadily. So I mean, like I was like in high school, I was like 7'1" when I graduated, but like I like slowly grew my entire life. It was never like a huge growth spurt, but I was always taller than everybody, so it kind of was like always my advantage. And then eventually it was like, oh, like it's like I'm a foot taller than everybody else, so now it's, you know, it's a huge advantage.
Gabe, you said a couple times you're 7'4". Is that your height now? Which it sounds a drop taller. And how much have you gained in weight since you've been here?
Well, I was 213 when I got here. I'm like 230-ish now. It varies a lot, just depending on how much I eat that day. But I'm 7'3" and like 3/4 without shoes. So whatever height you want to say. Yeah.
Coach was saying how, you know, Chad makes these crazy shots sometimes, and he also has like a really big, loud personality sometimes. So does anybody have like an interesting Chad story?
I mean, Chad just a funny human being in general. Like every time he come around, he from the DR, so whenever he speaks Spanish, I just start laughing because it's so fast and I just don't know what he's saying. He's just a good guy.
Full of energy. That's all I can really say so far, is being on the court with him. So, yeah.
Terrence, what differences do you see with this roster than the team you were on last year at this point?
I feel like we have way more size down below. I feel like last year we didn't really have a true center that we could really go to. I think we got big 4s, 5s, big 3s. I think we didn't have that last year. I feel like we got a lot of shooting at the guard position. Last year we didn't really have that much shooting at the guard position outside of a couple players. But, you know, our main both true PGs, I feel like they can shoot the ball better. We can space the floor out. Those are the two biggest differences I see.
All right, thank you guys.